tough guys. Happy Thursday to everybody. As we go through a typical routine game week, we basically went through red zone today and installed that game plan. I really feel like if we needed to play this Saturday that we would be ready to go. We'll come back in tomorrow and do some situational football, some special situations, just to be situational masters with 2-minute, 4-minute situations, last plays of the game, some special team situations, and then go through our opening series, and then go ahead and give the kids a couple days off and come back Monday and restart another week. Injury-wise, really no new injuries. We've made it out this week pretty good, with the exception of Nate. And with that, I'll answer any questions that you got.
Is Khalil still out in the protocol?
Say that.
Is Khalil still out in the
Yeah, he's
protocol?
still in concussion protocol right now. Keyshawn Young is still out with it, but is able to do some movement and some lifting now. So they're getting back. I'm hoping to have them back before the Rose Bowl.
Is Pye, is that concussion also? Or?
Yes, yeah,
That is?
both are
Okay,
under
okay.
concussion protocol right now. We had Pye actually out doing physical activity, so he's taking the next step forward.
I don't know if the rules allow you to talk about this with another school, but Max announced he was transferring to Pittsburgh. Did he talk to you about that, and what were your thoughts on that as a landing spot for him?
Well, I just want the best situation for him, and so happy if that's what he decides to ultimately do. Like I've said, what a class act, and want nothing but the best for him. He's a special talent, a special kid, and I know we'll have a really bright future.
Do you know Coach Narduzzi at all, or?
I don't. I have not run into Coach. I know his reputation. He's one of the most respected coaches in our profession, but have not had the opportunity to work with him, no.
How tough is that? He's going to a place where the offensive coordinator just left.
I think that must have been sold on the system that was there. Probably not going to change that. And when you bring a quarterback in like Max, that's ultra talented. You build that system that's in place. You bring him in because you believe in him within your system. So I would imagine that's not going to change.
You said
Is college football getting more like basketball? Where the quarterbacks are kind of, 25% of college basketball players are transferring.
One of the things that we see, I think around it, and it's a good rule. You go 4 years, you get your degree, and you get your degree at the university you came to, and then maybe you're behind some guys, and you want to be able to have that last year to go play someplace. So the graduate rule is a good option to be able to have, and get your degree from the university you came with, and then try to go play your last final year.
you had mentioned earlier that you were going to help Max through the process.
Mm-hmm.
What did you ultimately end up kind of doing?
Really, we just talked in the beginning about, hey, if it doesn't work out prior to January, what's the next option? Hey, let's go to school. Let's go to school while you're trying to figure it out. If you find something that's a great fit for you, go ahead and take it. I asked him, what were some of the options that were out there. Pitt was one of those. He was excited about it. I think they were excited about him, and really didn't need to do anything further from there. I know he took a visit there, and it must have clicked. So happy for him.
Did you serve as a reference? Did
Say
you
that.
serve as a reference?
No, never got a call. Never got a call from Pitt. No, sir.
You were talking yesterday about the similarities between two quarterbacks in Penn State and here. Do you see similarities elsewhere other than that position?
Yeah, I think one of the things that both teams have is great balance. You look at the running back position, and you're talking about a young man at Barkley that's rushed for 1,300 yards, and then you look at our running situation with Rojo and Justin Davis instead, and you're looking at about a 1,000-yard rusher in Rojo and some really quality running backs. So both teams bring us a great sense of balance to their offense, both throwing and running. It's a pretty good similarity to really balanced teams.
Another similarity with the programs is both coming off of sanctions and getting back to full rosters in the last year or two.
Mm-hmm.
How is that? How long did that carry over that effect? Do you still feel the effect of that with the senior and junior classes being smaller than the regular class?
I think we're getting back to normalcy. I really believe that. We were at 82 when we began the season, and we were able to put three of our walk-ons on scholarship to get to 85. We were able to blue shirt two kids, Stevie Tuikolavatu being one of them, and we have the opportunity to sign a full boat again. This year, so I think we're getting back to normalcy. I feel the depth even in this bowl practice. Feel the depth of several numbers, being able to have great service teams, and it feels like a lot better than it did maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
The improvement from the beginning of the year, do you think any of that had to do with just this team is still relatively young compared to other teams? Just maybe the way they started out is due to some of the youth?
Well, I think a lot of it is just a lot of new things. 3 new coordinators, 5 new assistant coaches, a new starting quarterback at the position, a new head coach. And being able to grow together and kind of learn each other and what our strengths and weaknesses were, kind of try to get our personnel and be able to fit our systems around their strength and improve our weaknesses. And I think we grew as a football team on both technique fundamentally, and then us as coaches kind of putting the exact system in place that we felt that really fit our football team as we went through the season.
Another similarity is September. You guys have an advantage. You came back from 1 and 3.
Yeah.
They only came back from 2 and 2.
Yeah, exactly. They've got 9 straight. We've got 8 straight. You're talking about two teams that are playing really good football down the stretch. Both quarterbacks are playing extremely well. Trace has got 25 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, protecting the football, and 2 teams with good running games and 2 really quality defenses. And it ought to make for a great game. The stars feel right. They feel alive. You got a Rose Bowl with USC and Penn State that are playing together, and it feels extremely special.
With the extra reps this week for some of the young guys, is there anybody who stood out to you or anybody that's impressed?
Yeah, the young wide receivers I think are really coming on. They've been on the service team this year, helping our defensive get good looks. But Joshua Mortabebe, Tyler Bonds, Trayvon Sidney, Velus Jones have really come on and improved, and they got to compete the other day, and you can see the amount of improvement they've had from day one. So that group has jumped out.
You're gonna have to replace 2 tackles next year.
Mm-hmm.
How was the depth in that position when you were getting these guys extra reps?
Yeah, I ended up being sad when Nate went down, because that's one of the things I was really hoping for him to gain that spring. But you look at the guys that are here. It's time for a Chuma Doga to jump up, and it's time for a Clayton Johnson to come into the fold, and Nate Smith to come into the fold, as long as and the next recruiting class that is coming in. So we've been very fortunate to have Zach and Chad play a lot of games and a lot of snaps, and now it's another man's turn, and it ought to make for great competition in the spring, and looking forward to it. We got some talented kids, young kids that will be ready to go.
How confident about Jordan being back?
I'm crossing my fingers.
When do you think you find out about him?
I don't know. It's in the NCAA's
January?
hands. Yeah, they always review those things, and we'll see how it is. I'm hoping it's sooner than later for all our sakes.
Have you given any thought to the center position next year, when both guys are healthy, how that goes?
Yeah, you got 2 really good candidates in Nico and Toa, and Cole Smith being here. Chris Brown has been able to do the position. So that's one of the things that, as we've learned over the last 2 seasons, you better have a second center ready, a third center, sometimes a fourth. And to be able to have those guys as candidates, I think is really important. One of the things that as we look at it, and I really think Toa is a major asset, because you look at him and he kind of reminds me of Max Turner. He's played all 3 positions. He's played tackle, he's played guard, he's played center. And with Nico really playing the center position very well, that's another added piece of the puzzle as we try to fit everything together, that Toa can play several positions.
Toa looks like he's gotten a lot bigger.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
He's put on some muscle mass up top, and really has done a nice job staying in as good a shape as you can with that injury. Looking forward to getting him back. That's a very smart, instinctive football player that's played a lot of ball for us, and you sometimes forget he's here. Thank God he is, and now he's got 2 years. He's got 2 years left.
Will you get him back for spring? Will Toa be back for spring?
Nah, it'll be probably a little bit of walkthrough, a little bit of ERT like you see out here, maybe some individual work, but I doubt that it'll be any contact. Usually those things take around 9 months, and before he's fully cleared. I would imagine it's going to be more training camp.
Thanks.
Alrighty, guys,
Thanks.
take care.
Thanks,
Have this
Thank
rain.
you.